Things you've said under your breath. Things people have said with their last dying breath. Things that drive people to drink. Things that made Jesus think, maybe I'm in the wrong line of business. Things you can only find in Detroit. Things that make you jump for joy. Things that make people jump from the Golden Gate Bridge. Things you get stuck between your teeth. Things you've stuck in your ear, up your nose, or up your butt. Things that change from ugly to beautiful. Things that frighten you. Things that enliven you. Things to help raise your credit score. Things to help lower your cholesterol. Things organisms have done to adapt. Things that make certain men become priests. Things that make certain women wrestle alligators. Things serial killers think about. Things you find in a dead man's pockets. Things you find in your own pockets. Things named after Greek gods. Things people have done in the name of God. Things that cause acne. Things that cause cancer. Things to consider before having a baby. Things to consider before joining the French Foreign Legion. Things you would do if you had wings. Things you'd do if you had the Green Lantern's power ring. Things to help clear your aura. Things you can clear out of your orifices. Things you should always buy generic. Things you've always wanted to know but were afraid to ask. Things associated with winter. Things associated with summer. Things you would do if you only had a week left to live. Things you would do if you were president. Things the atom bomb thinks before going boom. Things a flower bud thinks before going bloom. Things that put into processed meats. Things you do during the 5 stages of grief. Things you've learned from the Bible. Things you've learned from the National Enquirer. Things to say while sexting. Things you should never say to someone who's depressed. Things you forget. Things you desire. Things you've done while under the influence of drugs. Things you've done while under the influence of love. Things that make you go, Things you see while staring up at the clouds. Things your pets do when you're not around. Things you can smoke. Things you can recycle. Things behind the sun. Things to help make your car run better. Things you find alongside the road. Things you find washed up on the beach. Things you build. Things you compete for. Things you do when you're alone in your room. Things Van Gogh thought about just before cutting off his ear. Things to go in one ear and out the other. Things you can burn. Things you can save. Things to say to get a girl wet. Things to say to get a guy hard. Things to say to get kicked off jury duty. Things you can carry, things you can hide, things that decay, things that rejuvenate, things made of plastic, things made of corn, things put into time capsules, things put into compost piles, things that live under your skin, things you find around Jim Morrison's grave, things that remind you of Buddha, things that remind you of Judas, things your doctor won't tell you, things your parents won't tell you, things your lover won't tell you, things your best friend won't tell you, things the major corporations won't tell you, things the government won't tell you, will never tell you.